It's early morning on the Provo River, and looks like streamer time. It's in the 30s. You can see the water vapor coming up off the river. It's a beautiful day for throwing streamers. Hey, Dean here. I'm on the lower Provo today. It is October, as you can probably see from the colors behind me. Awesome time of year to be on the river. Weather is beautiful. I got up here early this morning. I've been throwing streamers the last day or two just to see what's happening here on the lower Provo, see if I can't get some of the big boys to come out and hit it. This time of year the fish start to get a little more amped up. The spawn's not too far off, and the hormones start to kick in and they get more aggressive. Before I show you how my day went on the Provo, I will have a little bit of info here from Rich Lake from Fish West. Great fly shop in Sandy. Go in, if nothing else, go in and talk to the guys. You'll learn a lot. These guys are awesome. But Rich from Fish West is going to go through some streamer techniques and some streamer patterns. After that, I'll tell you how I've done on the Provo, kind of show you the way I have things rigged up. Got Rich Lake here from Fish West Fly Shop. Going to talk a little bit about streamers.
Hey,
Rich?
guys. Yeah, it's my favorite time of the season, streamer season. And I'm going to discuss some of the different options for streamer tactics with you guys. When you get out there, just like any type of fly fishing, you got to kind of read the water and read the environment, kind of figure out what the best tactic of the day will be. Same goes with streamers. You never know if they're going to want small woolly bugger stuff or some giant, sex dungeons or boogeyman's. So just get out there, play with some retrieves, play with some patterns and colors and see what they want. Now with streamers, you can fish them two ways. You can either fish them upstream, targeting structure, rock gardens, log jams, undercut banks. Or one of my favorite methods is actually swinging streamers, and that's working downstream, casting across the river at about a 45-degree angle, putting a nice cross-stream bend into it, and just holding it out there and waiting for something to come up and pick it up. Like I said, there aren't any go-to ways of streamers. It's getting out there, playing with your patterns, playing with your retrieval rates. Sometimes they like them slow, sometimes they like it fast. Play around with your depths as well. And again, look for that structure. That's where most of the streamer eating fish will be hiding out in some coverage. So we'll go over some patterns real quick.
Ready to go.
Alright, so first up, we got some of your smaller streamers here. Right here, starting on the right, we got the Thin Mint. Next up, we've got the standard crystal bugger. We got the Creel X up next, and then a small Sculptzilla. All these patterns here, I like to throw mainly on a 5-weight, but you can get away with some of these patterns on a smaller 4-weight as well. But these are great for small creeks, small to medium-sized creeks. Even larger ones if you can read the water well enough and pick out the individual seams and structure. Next up, we've got some larger, but I like to call them lighter flies. We got a little bit larger Sculptzilla here to help it get down a little bit deeper. We got the Double Dirty Hippie, which is a mainly marabou fly. And then we got two colors of the Peanut Envy right next to it. The Peanut Envies are probably one of my favorite flies to fish, year-round, honestly. White and olive seem to be the best colors that work for me. These flies over here, though, I like to use a 5-weight minimum, preferably a 6-weight for a lot of these flies, just to allow them to turn over and have a line that can carry the weight a little bit better further distances. And then finally at the very end, we've got some of our large and heavier flies. These flies over here like to absorb water, so at a minimum a 6-weight, sometimes a 7-weight is what I like to use for these. We've got two different colors of the sex dungeon here, and then a boogeyman on the end. Like I said, all these flies I like to use mainly a 6, but like I said, these ones 7 sometimes. with a sinking line, especially for these guys here to help them get down a little bit quicker. The deer hair heads and then sculpin wool heads add a little bit of buoyancy, so to help get them down to the zone a little bit quicker, either full sinking line on legs or type 3 sink tip on our rivers. And all these flies, like I said, you can fish them all upstream. They also do very well casting downstream and swinging them. So, like I said, olive and whites are my favorite colors, with the exception blacks really early in the morning or really late in the evening, and then your lighter colors throughout the day. Good rule of thumb: light flies on light days, dark flies on dark days. But I'm sure a lot of you have noticed there are exceptions to every rule, and I've had great luck on dark flies on light days, and light flies on dark days. So it's just getting out there, finding what the fish want that particular day, and keeping them hooked up. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Good luck out there this fall, and if you guys have any questions, make sure to give Fish West a call.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Fishing early this morning on the Provo River. Some nice fat browns are hitting streamers, so I get an idea of what a nice little fish this one is. We'll let him go and see if they hit some more. I've been picking them up today on a fly called the Platte River Spider. Here's another fish. It's a nice one. He picked him up on that Platte River Spider. They seem to really like that fly. But it's nice browns I'm picking up here. So I'm going to let him go and throw it out and see if I can strip it in a little bit and pick up, pick up another one. This is the fly that was most effective for me when I was throwing streamers on the lower Provo. This is called a Platte River Spider. It's brown and yellow marabou. It's got just a hair of flash in it. It has got basically a collar of dyed yellow or wood duck mallard flank, and got furnace hackle on it, or some badger hackle. It's pretty inexpensive to tie. This one looks really poofy because it's dry. I'm going to go wet it and show you what it actually looks like when it's in the water. As you can see, once this fly gets wet, it's got a whole different look to it. It's got a real small little bait fish look. Really effective. There's no weight on this fly. That's why when I fish this, I'll have a streamer that's a bigger streamer that has a heavy cone head or some type of weight to it that'll get it down as a first fly. Then I'll tie this one behind it as a trailing fly. A lot of times they'll chase that first one, but it seems like this is the one 90% of the time that they will end up taking a bite out of. Just been thrown along this bank right here, and had a couple hits and follows. You can see the nice brown I picked up. He's a nice fish. If I can get the camera on him. The one nice thing about fishing streamers is you're going to catch nice fish. This is the smallest fish I've hooked today, and he's probably about 14 inches, and he's a fatty. There's another brown on a streamer here on the lower Provo. Here's my report on streamer fishing the last day or two on the lower Provo. I've been fishing down in the areas that are a little more shaded. I've been trying to get here pretty early in the morning. Streamer fishing is best generally from early morning, and then it picks up again as you get towards dusk. I've actually had pretty good luck throwing streamers between, I usually get here just a little bit after sunup, and then I'll fish it till about 11:30. Usually get a little after 11, it starts to slow down a little bit, but it'll fish good all the way up to about 11 on streamers. Had a lot of chases, a lot of hits. Today was a little frustrating. I had, 4 or 5 nice trout on, and they all threw the hook after about 15 seconds, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but evidently something wrong. But I did land some fish too. Had a lot of chases, a lot of hits, had some big ones come up, and hit it when I was swinging it downstream. For some reason, they just must have been grabbing the tail or pushing it or something, because I couldn't get the hook set into some of those. But streamer fishing is awesome. On the video, I've got some fish I caught. I did have a few bigger fish too, but I didn't get a film of them. Unfortunately, I didn't have the video the whole time I was fishing yesterday. But I think hopefully I've got enough to make it worthwhile. Let me just show what the rig that I've been using, that I've had the most luck on. I've been throwing a little heavier. They're still wet because I just got done fishing, so it's not as poofy as it should be, but this is a little conehead sculpin pattern. I've had pretty good luck with this. It's got some weight to it. So this is the weight I use, and I'll usually take 1X, tip it, and I've got a sink tip line, but you could, if you're fishing the shallower water, you could fish a floating line. And I just run 1X fluorocarbon tippet from down as a leader, and I usually run about maybe 3 or 4 feet of that as a main leader, and then I got some 2X fluorocarbon, and I'll run it from the heavier fly that's got some weight down to this little fly. This fly has no weight at all. This gets it down. The best luck I've had today is throwing right against the bank and stripping in. I had some really nice hits. Got some nice hits in the riffles. I had a lot of chases, a lot of flashes. One thing about streamer fishing is it's very visual. If you like dry fly fishing, see the fish come up and take the fly, you'll like streamer fishing because they'll chase it. You can see them chasing it. You'll see them grab it. A lot of times they're going to miss, so there's some frustration built into streamer fishing, but it's a ball. So go out and do some streamer fishing in the fall. Now's the time to go. October, November, December are great months to go streamer fishing. You can throw streamers all year round, but for some reason I seem to enjoy it the most this time of year, and seems to be the most productive for me this time of year too. The spring is also a pretty great time to fish it. So good luck, get out on the river, and see if you can hook some big ones.